Good afternoon, MMT's. Time is 2:01 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today's date, 1/10/2014. Happy New Year once again. Now, let's take a look at the great breakout on Yelp, YELP. This is a daily chart. Now, back in 2013, we had some gaps over here, and Yelp was early in its breakout phase as it was. Once we had that gap and it faded back to our support levels, that was time to buy, and it went off on a rip and tear. Okay, then it pulled back over here within the channel here in this daily area, and we pulled back in the month of September to support, and then we broke out, and we really broke the resistance going up in value right here in calendar 2014. And the MMTs, you could see here how wonderful that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parabolic days up. Now that we've hit that 5 days on the high, it's time to sell into any other up moves right now, scaling out with profits at the highs. And then what will end up happening is we'll take a look here on a 15-minute chart. Once again, Yelp, YELP. It came down, it hit this support level, it had a little wick down, that breakout started, it faded, and then we consolidated on the 15-minute handle. But once again, MMTs, a great breakout. One of the things that we would like people to know is JP Morgan is behind the name. BlackRock has 11% stake in Yelp, YELP. With those two powerhouses involved in Yelp, every time that Yelp pulls back, we will be buying those dips until we hit a complete overbought area where it will have to pull back, and we'll get our great entries. A pullback would be something like this on the 15 minutes. This stock right here, I can say beyond a reasonable doubt that BlackRock has like $4 trillion under management, and they own, and they have disclosed 11% ownership in Yelp. Once again, JP Morgan had put a buy rating on the name. Okay, and you know, this is the kind of stocks that are the winners right now in January 2014. Okay, and you can see that the daily pullbacks are always buyable here, and then they have an ascending breakout and they consolidate in a level before you get a huge breakout 5 days up. So we are continuing to cover the name, and that Yelp is on one of the biggest lists right now as far as Wall Street goes. That means that yes, in the short term we're going to get overbought. Who cares? The other thing that has to happen, and I'm going to notify everyone right now, as that Yelp will have to report its quarterly earnings. Outside of JP Morgan and BlackRock, they're going to have to live up to expectations. One of the things that I would like to make very clear to you is that stockmarketfunding.com is inviting you to take a free 5-day trial live in the market. Click Get Started today. That's what you have to do. If you're looking for a trading account, go to Open an Account. We will answer all your questions in the free 5-day trial. Click on the SMF Street video, click on Open the Account, get started. Understand that if your trading account doesn't have $25,000 or higher, you're restricted with the rule called the 25-20 rule. And not only that, if you read here carefully, you'll understand that we will fund your trading account along with you. And yes, listen to the video, read the content, then we'll answer all your questions in the free 5-day trial. So here is what we're going to do. MMTs, we are going to be very, very upfront that Yelp reports earnings on February 6th of 2014. They will report their quarterly reports. Now, does it really matter? The big money matters. But the thing about it is, Yelp is going to have to live up to expectations. And not only that, they better come in and beat the quarter. So when we look at how a new year starts with the big breakout, these are generally, as long as they fulfill the quarterly reports. And what do I mean by that? They beat the number they guide up, that this could be one of the next big movers. At one time, LinkedIn was like that. At one time, Tesla was like that. At one time, Green Mountain Coffee was like that. At one time, Amazon was at a much lower price. So what we always do is pick out the next biggest winners. And remember one thing. This has a 5-day breakout. So be a little bit careful. And the pullback here would be nice to see. And every pullback is buyable, MMTs. However, if they do not live up to their quarterly earnings, then the stock would have a bigger pullback and drop, and then we would buy it again. We think that Yelp is on the path to prosperity because when you get BlackRock with 11% ownership and other big institutions who have ownership, they just know something that a lot of people don't know. The big money has a way of knowing things. And all we care about is how that breakout is confirmed by the conviction of that big money. So, once again, we'll be covering Yelp all through 2014. We'll cover all the quarterly reports. If anything changes, then we'll let you know. But we think that Yelp is a buyable unit, just like we thought in trading it over here and buying the dips at the support levels and how it broke out over here on the daily. You can see the pullbacks were met with buyers. You can see that the pullbacks were met with buyers at every single time. Here's the last time it had a breakout, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 2013. But what did Yelp do then? It pulled right on back and filled in that support right here, and it consolidated daily. And then as we had an ascending breakout on narrow range prices, we clearly see that there was where the breakout started. And that when we take that bottom and we look at it very clearly, you can see what I'm talking about. The consolidation in price before the big breakout. Yelp could be one of the next big winners in 2014. So we're very bullish on it. However, the fundamentals in the equity will have to come through. If there is a bad report economically from their earnings and they drop, we would still be a buyer, because as long as that institutional ownership remains at high levels, then we are going to be buying on the dip. Thank you, MMTs.